Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Schilling from school. What was the third one?
Weight loss.
There you go. Exactly. I was going to tell you something real briefly here about PMF.
So right now we started a new intro to PMF. So you can get 3 intro hours to PMF for $97 plus tax. Normally that is $360, so it's a fantastic deal. If you do sign up for the intro, you want to make sure you get them done. Hopefully you can do maybe 3 hours in a week, feel amazing. If not, you definitely want to get them done within at least a month, but that's going on right now, so definitely contact us and we can get you set up.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, fantastic. Getting back to the task at hand. So who doesn't want, raise your hand if you want better hormone balance. Raise your hand if you want to sleep better. Raise your hand if you want to lose weight. All right? The big key to all 3 of those, and a bunch of other things, but we're going to keep it to 3, is having proper insulin balance. And if you think about insulin as the master hormone in your body, when insulin's in the system, nothing else happens. Everything is storage, 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 storage. And what happens is when insulin's high, your body can't get cortisol moving and then break tissues down to then burn fat. So if your insulin's high because you're eating a lot of sugar, a lot of fruit juices, a lot of refined carbohydrate foods and things like that, that's a big problem because that's going to keep your insulin high. The way I kind of describe it is, as your insulin goes up in the morning, it stays up high all day long because insulin is an inflammatory thing because sugars are toxic to the body in excess. So it's around there scavenging, looking around, saying, there's sugar, get it out, get it out, get it out. So you want to appreciate that if you start your morning with Fruit Loops or oatmeal or pancakes, waffles, anything like toast, anything like that, that's going to increase your insulin because your body says there's sugar in the system, we got to get that out. And then your insulin stays high all day long, keep your inflammatory high, giving you joint pain, body aches, things like that. So how does insulin affect your weight? As I kind of alluded to, if your body's always storing stuff, you're never going to be able to drop the weight you want. So therefore, you need to keep your insulin down. Keep your sugars down, keep your insulin down, keep your inflammation down, okay? From there, we want to think about how it's going to affect your hormones. Insulin is a hormone, it's a master hormone, so think about this. When insulin's in the system, it's going to disrupt your gonadotropin-releasing hormone. So basically, your brain sends a message to your organs through like the Leydig cells and the Sertoli cells and things like that, telling you like LH and FSH and things like that, hormones you don't have to worry about. That's my job. But it tells the sex hormones to release. So therefore, if you have hormonal imbalances, first and foremost, look at your blood sugar balance. So if you have excess weight and you have hormonal imbalances, like your cycles are off, women with PCOS and things like that, you always want to look back to insulin. So anytime you have that, with men, what's interesting is insulin will drive their testosterone down, but in women, it'll drive their testosterone up. And testosterone being high is one of the biggest keys for looking at PCOS and things like that. Okay, better sleep. Let's get back over our last test for better sleep. If you have insulin that's pulling sugar out all the time and your insulin's high all the time, then it's not going to be able to mobilize your cortisol to get sugars free from the muscles and from the liver to keep you sleeping through the night. So therefore, if you have a drop in your blood sugar, because insulin's always out there looking around for it, and then your cortisol spikes up in the middle of the night, and that could also be contributed to by a liver detox or a gallbladder issue or something like that. But keep in mind, you want to balance your blood sugar. So we always recommend for anyone with a blood sugar imbalance that they start off with what's called the Vitality Food Guide, and simple as it can be. Breakfast and lunch, you eat proteins, fats, and veggies. Simple. Keep it simple. Proteins, fats, and veggies. Keep all your refined or complex carbs for dinner. Enjoy them then, because that's going to help boost your serotonin, your feel-good hormones, and you're going to feel calm and be ready for sleep. And so at dinner time, you're going to want to have your complex starches like your quinoa, farro, brown rice pasta. If you're able to tolerate gluten, you can have some regular pasta or things like that. Have your baguette, whatever it might be, whatever fits your fancy. But just remember, you want to save those carbs for the evening because think about it. If you know anybody who's ever run a marathon, what do they do the night before a marathon? Okay, they carb load. They eat as much pasta and pizza and God knows whatever else they can shove in to give them the glycogen to burn off the next day during their race. They don't wake up in the morning the day of the race and start hogging down a bunch of carbs. It doesn't work like that because then they'd be lethargic, they have cramping and things like that, and they fall apart. So same goes for you. If you pack in a bunch of carbs in the morning, like your cereals, your breads, pancakes, whatever, fill in the blanks, maybe you go to brunch and you have potatoes, right? You're boosting up that sugar level. So your insulin's got to go out there and grab all that, your inflammation stays high, and then eventually you're going to get that sag. Now, you might compensate with a pot of coffee, which a lot of people do, to stay up, so they can fight that sag, and they're like, oh, hey, I need some caffeine. They get a 5-hour energy, whatever it might be. So keep in mind that those are the 3 main things: balanced hormones, weight loss, and good sleep. If you keep your insulin balanced, you keep your blood sugars balanced, and you play the game of the hormones, because they are what control your sleep, your hormones, and your weight, you can win, okay? So next week what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of get back into looking at the physical body and how we can look at the structure. Next week we'll look at the low back specifically, and I'll be able to show you how to evaluate the low back without any, as our team member Sasha calls it, the whip and crack, right? We don't need to whip and crack the body in order to get it back in line. We need to gently coerce the body back in and guide it back into balance. So we'll be looking at that next week, so tune back in next week. Post this with your friends, share it with your family and friends, because they need to understand what's holding them back as far as losing the weight, having better sleep, and having better hormones, okay? We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great one.